Blessing and Comfort are the ones that are going to be responding to questions about Odehe at the moment. What makes it so interesting and attractive and special? Those are adjectives. You have to give us the stairwells.
Okay, so I would just like to talk to you a little bit about why Odehe Court is something that you need to know about. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the design. Okay, so first of all, when you look at the building, it's a very imposing structure. It's beautiful, I think. It's very beautiful. So you have the striking living facade. When I say that, I'm talking about the greenery on the building itself. So you have the climbing plants, and that alone makes it stand out in itself. You've also got this screen along the left side, and that is to give you a sense of privacy because it's screening the stairwell. So you're not going to have your neighbors or anyone on the roadside being able to see you going up and down the stairs. You've also got the beautiful terraces. Now, when I say that, every single unit here has a terrace. We're talking about a combination of studios, one bedrooms, and two bedroom apartments. And this is 25 units in total. Every single one of them has a terrace, which means wherever you are in this building, whichever unit you own, you've got a view. If you are on the front of the building, which is mostly the one beds and the two beds, you've got a view of not just the Accra city skyline, but also if you're on the higher floors, you can see the ocean, which I think is really, really nice. I mean, who would have thought that maybe from Laboni you can see the sea, but that's what we are offering you here. And with these terraces, you've got beautiful alfresco living because you have these large open doors and windows that open up into your living room space. You've got large, airy, beautiful, warm living rooms, and that's really going to do a lot for you emotionally. But also, when you think about money and how much people spend on your bills, this is actually a benefit because you're not having to spend a lot on electricity, you're not having to spend a lot of money. So there's a lot of benefits to this. So that's one of the things I would say about this structure. It's really beautiful and I can't wait to see it up. And I hope you guys are excited about the way it looks as well.
Okay, so Blessing, what are you going to add to this?
Okay, I think Comfort has said most of the things about the striking living facade, the fact that we have the screens to create some sort of privacy and ventilation on the stairwell. And I think that sits well with most of us. I also think the alfresco living or the terraces on all the floors makes a lot of sense. So you can interact with the outside without necessarily going out. And I think that's a plus for the design.
Okay, so my next question is to you, George. Why should our guests here be interested? What is the attractive bit of it?
Okay, so I'll speak from the investment perspective. But before I touch on that, I'd also like to talk about the payment duration. So this is the first time our clients are able to pay over a longer duration. So there's flexibility.
How long?
So 36 months.
That's
3 years, correct. So what has been standard practice for us is to have clients pay over a period of 12 to 18 months. If there is any extension at all, it goes to 20, 24 months tops. There's been a lot of requests for an extension, so this must be exciting for our clients.
Why are you going off what you usually used to do?
Well, because there's been a lot of requests for it. Clients want that level of flexibility. It's easier on the pocket, so we are heeding to what they are asking for, more or less.
I'll add a little to what George is saying. So I have a friend called Annabelle, and she lives in the UK. She's a cybersecurity analyst, and she makes some decent amount of money every now and then. And she works part-time as a carer. And she knows I sell houses. But every time she goes on my post and she sees that I've posted something new on our development, she goes like, but what makes you think I have this kind of money? And what makes you think people can afford these kind of houses you are selling? I know I live in the UK and I am a security analyst. I spend most of my time fighting cyber crimes. and cyber attacks, and half of the time listening to demented patients. But I like to come to a place that I can call my home. But with these kind of prices you are quoting, it's very outrageous. How do I get something like that? So originally, like George said, we are used to doing the 12 months, 14 months, 18 months, but we realize that there are people who would actually want to get a house, but they don't have the money to pay for a house in 18 months. So I think this project is actually for the Annabelles in our midst and Annabelles all over the world. So if you want to have an extended payment plan, then Odehe Court is something you should be looking at. Aside from the investment point of view, I think that Odehe is a very interesting concept. First of all, I'm totally in love with the neighborhood because Labone, as we all know, is one of the most prestigious neighborhoods in Ghana. Very, very great neighborhood by all standards. We know that if you're looking for good infrastructure, when you talk about the good roadways that connect to the arterial roads like the La Badi Beach Road or La Beach Road, sorry. La Beach Road, we have the Gifford Road, we have the Ring Road. You can easily get in and out of Labone without any stress. Now, for those of you who also like the nightlife, it's a mixed-use neighborhood. You have more active hours in the day, and if you're a night lifer, you can also enjoy your nightlife because the place is always active. Now, when it comes to safety and security, it's number one because we have a lot of high-profile personnel living in that area. There are lots of ambassadorial residences, embassies in that enclave, banks, offices. So security is heightened. So whatever your need is in terms of security, you know that you would find it in that neighborhood. That's what makes it great. And also, if you're somebody who likes to work and play and live in the same place, then this is a good opportunity for you. You don't have to really move out of the neighborhood to get things done. Hyperbolically, you can get things done in a minute. Is that good? That's good news. I thought you were going to clap. Anyway, so don't worry, you get excited as time goes on.
And so, Blessing just sold you a very good project, a very good product as well.
Yeah, I'm still selling. Anyway, so apart from that, one thing about Odehe is also the amenities that we are providing. When you think about the large open garden that we're providing, most people shy away from apartments because they feel like they are going to be cooped up in the apartment. They don't have the opportunity to spread their legs or to breathe. But with Odehe Court, there's that large open space that you can go out, connect with your neighbors, have your kids play around, and enjoy and unwind after a hard day's work. You can watch your kids play, and you can also relax, connect with other people. And you can actually have a party. It's big enough to host a party for about 30 guests in the same space. Apart from that, the very fantastic thing about Odehe Court is the elevated pool we have in the community. You see the pool hanging on the first floor, and that's an amazing sight. It overlooks the garden. So if you want a place to start your day, relax, you can swim, you can come back home and then swim again, enjoy yourself, and enjoy the brighter side of life. So when you look at the amenities that we are providing for Odehe Court, I think that it's something you should go for, especially when you look at the price that comes with these amenities. It's out of this world. Aside that, we are providing spacious, a covered car park that is over 2 floors, the ground floor and the first floor. And this is something that most apartments don't have. They build and now they struggle to park. So both visitors and homeowners have a place to park. And when you look at the price, we're going to go to that shortly, and you see how affordable or competitively priced Odehe is. And we are making it easy for you to own a home. The initial deposit is very minimal. With just 30,000 cedis, you can make a deposit and make your way into owning a home. Isn't that fantastic? I think you should be clapping. Okay, so aside that too, we have the extended payment duration that George talked about, and we also have a 24-hour on-site building manager, I think people get frustrated when they can't get someone to vent out to. I have leaks, my tap is not running, and you don't have anybody to call or speak to. Sometimes just talking to someone alone just consoles you. So we would have someone you can vent out to. You can have someone, we have, and this person is going to be on duty for 24 hours. And this is the first time we are doing such a thing in our communities and in our community. And I think it's amazing. So these are some of the reasons why I think that Odehe is an interesting concept and everybody should be on the bandwagon.
Okay, so one major issue for most of our people who want to own properties is transfer of title. How easy is it, Randall, with this particular one?
So with this particular project, Signum has a JV with a family that originally owned the property.
What's a JV?
A joint venture. Yes. Now, one of the interesting things about this particular property is that you find that mostly in airport, in cantonments in Labone, the maximum lease you would get is just about 50 years or less because of the nature of the titles there. But this is quite a unique property. And Signum is in the position to give a much longer lease to buyers in this place. Signum has title already, and so transfer of title to buyers is quite straightforward and easy.
If you talk about what's the longest lease period?
We're looking at about giving 75 years
75.
to buyers. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Okay. So how is the growth of this particular industry and the what you're developing good for the tourism industry in this country? Because, you know, like Blessing said a few minutes ago, Labone is the place to be sometimes. I mean, for most of us who don't like to go to Usu or La, we prefer Labone.
I mean, Blessing and Comfort have said a lot, but I'll just add that cantonments, Labone, airport, these are the first-class residential areas in the county. Is the most sought after addresses, and this development offers an opportunity for each one and not every one of us to have an address there, you know, not just for yourself but for your children, for business people. You could use it as collateral for your business. It's easy to get rental income from Airbnbs and so on and so forth. The expats love this area, so rental income is very easy. So all in all, it's a fantastic investment opportunity.
So you're talking about the diasporans coming back and wanting to have something to do in Labone, and that's the destination.
Not just the diasporans, each and every one of us who hitherto has been looking at Labone and hearing of all the exorbitant prices, millions of dollars to acquire property there. If you look at the price point that this is coming in, each and every one of us can have an address there because you can afford a studio, or you could do a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom.
Okay, so Comfort, this comes to you. It's on the same line for tourism. What's the catch there?
So we were talking about this in the office yesterday, actually, when we were preparing for this as well. And we were talking about the impact the year of return and the beyond the return has had, not just on tourism, but specifically on real estate. So I think we were having a chat and I said, oh, Ghana is finally, you know, being recognized as the gateway of Africa. And George and Blessing go, no. It's always been the gateway of Africa. It's just that now it's cementing itself. And I think that's true. When you speak to a lot of people, they'll probably say the same thing. Since 2019, we've got a lot of global recognition for something we've always claimed to be. And most recently, you can talk about the Global Citizen Festival that happened in September and the sheer number of people that brought into Accra. And the thing is, when people are here and they're in town and they're going to these events, things like Afrochella, Afro Nation, these may all be things for young people, but a lot of the world is getting introduced to Ghana. And when they come here and they fall in love with the city and they fall in love with the people, what that often means is they start thinking, oh, maybe I should get myself my own little place. So every time I come down, I don't have to, And so there's a lot of opportunity. And for those of them who are not looking to buy, they're looking to rent, and they want to be close to all the hotspots, everything that's happening, all the Afro Nations and the Afrochellas and every single festival you can possibly think of. And the beautiful thing about Odehe Court is that it's located right in the heart of all of these events. So if you buy one of these and you're thinking of using it as an investment opportunity, for the next couple of years, you are pretty much set. And I think I'll let Blessing talk a little bit about some of the numbers.
Okay,
Right,
so
blessings to you.
when we had that conversation in the office, I wanted to find out more. So I was curious. So I went reading, and I found the 2019 tourist report that was generated by Honorable Minister Barbara Oting JC. And I found some really staggering figures. So the first thing I found out was in 2019, 1.1 million visitors came to Ghana. And I found that to be really interesting. So I dived even some more. And what I found out was out of the 1.3 million people that came to Ghana, Ghana generated revenue of $1.9 billion from this tourism activity. And the report also said that the people who came visited because of Afrochella and Afro Nation. And I was like, really? They traveled all the way to Ghana to enjoy Afrochella and Afro Nation. And 21% of them came because of the year of return. So Ghana made some really good cash. Now, when you check the breakdown of the expenditure, you'd see that out of the $1.9 billion that was generated, 41% of it went into accommodation. What kind of accommodation were they looking for? Corporate houses, guest houses, hotels made some whopping amount of money. And then they had private houses and then some other houses. I'm sure some of them were pitching with friends, family, and that was not accounted for. But when you look at the amount of money that went into accommodation, it tells you that there's really demand for high-end properties for these kind of people, Black diaspora. And you may be interested to know that the government has granted 200 of them Ghanaian citizenship. Some Africans are also looking for citizenship. I know this is not something, but that people are also looking at being Ghanaian, and they are proud. Sometimes you may have something you're not proud of, but these people have come and we have accepted them and we are happy to have them. And for that reason, the government of Ghana has released parcels of land to them and they are building. So there's the opportunity as developers to build for these people and also to create that accommodation for them. They can buy houses and then they can also rent our houses. So there's a huge opportunity for the Afro Nation, Afrochella, and the Year of Return. And it would shock you to know that there's a 10-year project called Beyond the Return, where they have themed it the decade of African Renaissance, where we are going to have 10 years of activities, bringing these people every year back to Ghana. It's going to be a great time to make money. And I can tell you that if you are able to purchase Odehe Court, which is in Laboni, the heartbeat of the city, you're on your way, smiling all the way to the bank. So you should buy one.
That's very interesting. I told you I have a link with Laboni somehow. Yeah. But my last place of work was in Laboni. Yes, and my favorite auntie used to live in Laboni, number 3 Nola Street or something. There about. Yeah. So Laboni is like, and when I want Friday, I know where to go. It's just at the junction. All right, so for the 4 of you, okay, sell us or sell to us. Why again we need to have an investment or purchase some property in the Odehe project? Randall? You see, I'm asking this because you see some people are a bit skeptical when it comes to owning landed property because of title holdership, okay, and also transfer of property and all that. But you are in that space where you know how to maneuver your way legally around and get people satisfied. So
I mean, again, the good thing is that this is Laboni, where there's no land litigation. Title is very straightforward and it's very easy to transfer. So for people who are looking to buy using mortgage, it's very easy to obtain a mortgage to do this purchase. But why is it a good investment? Look at the times we are in, so many of us put money in government bonds where we thought it was a safe investment. We know what's happened. We're looking for places to put our money now. And one of the safest, surest bet is property. At least the house is there. It won't whittle away. You can, if you're not making money in it, you can just go and sleep in there or just lock the door and put the keys in your pocket. It's something for your children. It's a place you can stay. It's an address at a fantastic location. If you want to go into a business, you can use it as collateral to start your business. For even parents, if you have your children who have finished school and they are considering starting some business and they're wondering how to raise money, that is something they can raise money on the back of. You also get rental income and you could go on and on. It will appreciate in value, etc. So it's a great investment.
Your sole point?
So, first of all, I want to thank the Odamten Soa family for being here and for inspiring us with the name. I should have said this when I first spoke, but it slipped my mind. But the name Odehe, I texted my mother for confirmation this morning, and it means royal. So when you think about it, we're telling you this is the royal court. And I want you all to know that when you buy a unit at Odehe Court, you will feel like royalty. When you look at the kind of finishes that we have, when you look at how beautiful I said that a lot, I know, but it really is beautiful when you look at the finishes and the thought that is going into the interiors. And not just that, but the building itself, it has the design, I don't know, I think we call it a hat.
A salute.
Yeah, but we also call it a salute. And it looks like the building is saluting you. And I mean, how royal could it get, right? So we just want you to know that this is something that's designed for you, especially if you want to be in the city center, if proximity matters to you, and if you are also looking to make money, because Labani is popping. And I think I'll let George speak a little bit about the money aspect of things.
Yes. I believe with the discussion that has gone on, it's common knowledge that Laboni is a prime area. And if you look at the numbers behind you, you are able to recoup your investment over a period of 5 to 8 years. So once you invest in Odehe, I don't think you can go wrong.
Wait, did you just say 5 to 8 years?
That's correct.
Oh, that's quite attractive. Are you done?
Yes, sir.
You're done?
Yes.
You speak so little, seriously. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, I
all
would
right,
like
go
to
ahead.
add something to that. And I feel offended because you didn't let me talk. Everybody talked and you skipped me. I will not pay you for this. Anyway, so just to add that, I think Odehe is something you should look at. There was a book I read by Warren Buffett, and he said that price is what you pay, value is what you get. When I look at Odehe, it has all the value that you need in a house. I know some people are sitting on the fence when it comes to real estate because they've not found the value that they are looking for yet. But when you look at all the things that we are providing, an elevated pool, we are providing you a garden space, we are providing you a contemporary building, we are providing you location in Laboni for that matter, and the price is so competitive. This is something you should not even wait for us to tell you about. And I think that Odehe Court is a must-have. So, Cyrus, because you skipped me, I've said everything I want to say, so we can close.
No, we are not closing. We're going to have the Q&A session. Oh, no problem.
Sorry,
yeah.
permit me to introduce and acknowledge Geoffrey Odamtesoa, our partner in this project. Geoffrey. Thank you.
Mr. Soa, forgive me, I forgot. You know, when I put on a tie and a suit on a day that I'm not supposed to, it makes me forget things. But okay, so we're going to have a Q&A session just for about 10 minutes. If you have any question to ask to any of our panelists here, please just raise your hands. I'll come gladly to you with the microphone, and then you ask, and they'll give you the response. So can we start? Any questions? Okay, I see someone at the back.
Hello, sir. Can you possibly show me or us in terms of where this Odehe is located? For some of us who don't live here.
So we had a video that we played earlier. I'll just ask for it to be played again, and then we'll talk and answer the question. So you can see a visual answer, and then we will explain a little bit more.
Hello, sir. Is your question answered?
So I will explain a little bit in the video. You can't tell too much, but if you are coming from Laboni Secondary School, it's down the road on the first turning to your left. So you would go down if you know where Salisbridge is, it's just down the road from Salisbridge. But if you are coming from Laboni Junction, then it would be the second turning on your right. But we would encourage everyone as well to book some time with the sales team. So please, during the break, if you go to the sales booth, they'll talk to you a little bit more. Book some time with us over the next week, and we will take you to do a viewing. So you would be able to orient yourself and look at the neighborhood properly.
Thank you, Comfort. Any more questions on Odehe, please?
I would like to know when should we expect the completion of this project?
Okay, so we are starting. It's supposed to run for 36 months, and we are starting in June 2023. Yeah, June 2023. So at the moment, we are still onboarding clients, and we are hopeful that we can sell 3/4 of it before the third month. Sorry. So once we hit that mark, then we can start.
All right, so we have booths for Oko and Odehe. If you intend to make any investments or make more inquiries, you can easily go there. Any more questions, please?
Thank you very much. Comfort said that you need to pay a deposit of 30,000, and the project is 36 months. So how are the installments going to be paid? Can you deposit any amount you get at any time, or it will be part of agreement for you to pay 10 or 15 installments? I just want to know how far you can stretch it. Thank you.
Okay, so to start with, It's 36 months, and we make it very flexible for clients. So when you make your initial deposit, now the 30,000 is actually 5% of it. So the 5% is supposed to secure your lot. Now, depending on your pocket, we always are very malleable. If you tell us that you want to do monthly payment, we agree. If you want to do quarterly payment, we will still agree. And then we will draw up the contract and we can abide by it. The good thing about it is we are not in a hurry to take your money to start with. What we do is we write down the contract and we give you a payment plan, what we call it the construction linked payment plan. So the payment is linked to key milestones of your project. So if you don't see the milestone, you don't pay. And this brings some succor or comfort to people who haven't done business with us before. Because some people think that if I give you my money, I've not seen the house. So you see before you pay. You see before we pay. And that's how we are running the project. But we are not very stringent. We are malleable. So when it comes to payment, it's something that we can talk about. And when both parties are happy and comfortable, we sign off and we abide. Is that okay? Thank you. I have a question. So when am I getting my check? After all the talking we've done, who is signing the first check? Okay, so I'm expecting to see more than half of you at the sales booth so that we can engage you some more. And then maybe you don't want people to see that you have the check. You can give it to us quietly at the sales booth and nobody would know. Are we good?
I think there's someone that wants to ask a question. Can the person raise their hands, please? Gentlemen, is that you? Is that you?
Hi, I'd like to know how many units you have in all. I missed the first section.
So we've got 25 units in this project. It's a combination of studios, 1-bed and 2-bed apartments.
So how many studios? How many? 1 and then 2?
So you've got...
Don't worry, that's fine. That's a lot of information. We have a lot of information, but I think when you come to the sales booth, we can talk to you more about it because it's quite a lot. We have a lot of different layouts. We think you should appreciate all of that information. So you can come down to the sales booth.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you too.
Any more questions before we take a short break? None? Hey, you have another question?
Hi, my last one. Wouldn't the payment flexibility be a setback to the project? So, for instance, if I can afford to pay outright and someone is lagging, what would it be like in terms of completion?
Please say that again.
Right, I was asking if the payment flexibility won't be a setback to completion. So, for instance, if I can afford to pay mine outright and someone is lagging, delaying payments, what will be the effect?
Okay, so the good thing about apartments is you pool resources. So at every point in time, there's money coming in. So when it comes to delay, we've thought about all of that and we have a cushion. So if someone is not paying, we always have our money to add up and build the project. And we can also go into an agreement with the person. If the person is a bit insolvent and wants some support, we would continue the project for you. However, we would charge you an interest for using our money to build, and then you pay us back.
Any more questions,
Sorry,
please?
just to add to what Blessing said, don't forget that even though they're flexible, you would also be bound by a contract. So you would have to abide by what you agree to pay and the periods when you pay. And if you don't, there's the possibility that the property may go to someone else because it's only 25 apartments. Once you agree to a payment structure, you have to abide by it.
Any more contributions from our panelists? Okay, there's a question.
Yeah, hi. What's the size of the area that this project is going to sit?
Council, I can't readily recall, but we'll give you that information at the sales booth. Yes. I believe it's a little over half an acre. Godfrey, can you recall?
100 by 120, if I heard you right.
Thank you, John.
Okay. Thank you. No more questions. We'll take a short break. And we're doing two here, Oko and Odehe.